Welcome back to Switch to Linux. This is a weekly news roundup in the Smart Tech Edition. Are we ready for how smart our tech has become? How our tech is lulling us down into the approximate intelligence of amoebae? Well, follow along. Before we dive on into the video, though, you can help support the channel if you want to head on over to switchetolinux.com/affiliates. I have a variety of affiliates from your generic shopping on Amazon. If you're looking to upgrade your phone service, I have Mint Mobile. There's a grammar checker that does not store all of your data like Grammarly does, called Pro Writing Aid. I actually have a 20% off coupon for using that one as well. There's some web hosts, some VPNs, podcasting stuff, various things like that. So with that, let's go ahead and jump on over into the tech news. Got small kids? Now's a good time to buy a Fire Kids Edition tablet. That's all we need. Addict our children to these crazy little tablets and give all of our kids' personal data to Amazon of all companies. For crying out loud, ArsTechnica, you've lost your ever-loving mind. You've gone crazy. Why are you telling people, hey, you got kids, now's a great time to get an Amazon tablet? I got kids, now's a great time to teach them how to get along with life without a smart tech. How's that for a thing? So if you have new kids and you need an inexpensive, safe source of games, media, and books for them, we've got good news for you. Amazon's Kids Edition line of tablets are on Black Friday level sales right now. It's $100 down to $60. The Kids Edition is $130 down to $80. That's all I need. My child addicted to a data-sucking monster out of Amazon that you undoubtedly, without reading anything, check this tech box there, which allows Amazon to get a buy COPA and collect everything that they do and start building and addicting your child earlier. No, thank you. ArsTechnica, why are you so crazy for even recommending this nonsense? What is this, a sponsored post? Why don't you give us a little bit of information about how dangerous these devices are for our children? All right, end rant. The anatomy of a dumb spear phishing attack, hitting librarians up. Now, I almost didn't include this one. I'm like, so what? The reason I wanted to, though, is coming down to the smart tech. I wanted to focus on the app Zelle and Cash App. I believe one of the banks I'm working with actually has Zelle implemented. And it was a very hilarious conversation because can you imagine being the banker opening up a bank account for me? We talked for an hour before I would open it up. And I was like, security stuff and all this. And he's like, oh, I just head on over here. And I get on there to try out the online banking stuff. And it's like, oh, we need your phone number. I emailed him back. I said, dude, I've kind of been through all this kind of stuff. I don't attach phone numbers or anything. I said, if you can't give me access to the online banking without a phone number, then I'm just going to have to come and close the accounts. And so he went ahead and chatted with the guys at the security team at the bank. And they're like, but if he doesn't use the phone number, he can't use Zelle to send money with a text message. I'm like, good. I don't want to send anybody money with a text message. For crying out loud, if you're a person who wants to send money with a text message, you need yourself a checkup from the neck up. What in the world is up with this nonsense? But anyway, this was a very hilarious spear phishing target. So, of course, the phishing, and I think I said I didn't remember what the spear phishing specifically was on a video the other day. So let's go ahead and get into this. A phishing attack is when you're throwing out a bunch of stuff. You're basically just casting out a net and you're just pulling in and seeing what you get. A spear phishing is when you're targeting specific people with your attack. And so in this case, it was a network of librarians. And the spammers, basically, they're using apparently Reagan.com. You can get a free email address to keep Ronald Reagan's name alive. Maybe if you need this, you might also need a checkup for the neck up. I don't know. But anyway, the librarians got this message. Would you help me in paying a merchant getting reimbursed by the name of the board, Bob. We'll call him Bob. Bob is not available today due to health reasons, but promised a swift reimbursement before Friday. It's imperative, and it's $7,000. I was able to get $4,000 out for my daily savings limit. Get back to me if you can get the remaining $2,900 via Zelle and Cash App. It concerns our 2020 Young Adults Library Services Symposium, whatever. So the guy says, well, this seemed to be a little bit sketchy. Maybe he's been hacked. And so they had this internal discussion. And what was funny about this article, once again, maybe ArsTechnica is just losing their mind here. So they're like, don't mess with the librarians. Librarians know what they're doing. No, you just happen to have an intelligent person. They could have just hit the doofus of the batch and the guy would have gotten there, all right? So this doesn't have anything to do with the librarians being smarter. It just has to do with this individual person probably watches my show and knows to be more skeptical of these types of things coming in. They thought that this was like, this seems a little bit too crazy. So they called Bob up. Hey, Bob, what's going on with this? Bob's like, no, I mean, and actually it was funny because one of the things that they said in here is, I knew this wasn't this guy because this guy's political views are completely opposite from Reagan's party. It was very funny. So he's like, whatever it happens to be. It seemed a little sketchy to me. So they decided not to go with it, of course. Like, yeah, the librarians know this. Like, ArsTechnica, no, this is just, maybe this particular library had maybe they had some internal training. Maybe they just had a couple people with their brains, because the reason people doing these types of attacks is because they tend to work. I want to tell that fun story about my bank in Zelle. It's like, but if you don't give us your phone number, you can't send money with text messages. Good! I don't want to accidentally I don't want to be having like constructing this text message, let's do this one here. I'm building a magic deck. Not that I don't play Magic much these days, but I do have a friend that we play some non-competitive stuff. And so we're getting together soon and going to go to the next city over, or go to the card shop and stuff and look for some things. If I happen to get there, he happens to get there, I'm like, hey, I found this card here you might like. It's like $5. I don't want my phone to actually send him $5. It's like, no, dude, I was asking if he wants me to use my $5 right now and he can pay me back, preferably with a bill, not some Zelle app or something nonsense. Like, no, people, I do not want to use my text messaging to call us. Would we please stop using our phone numbers for anything other than making phone calls, because it's the most insecure thing we possibly have in our life. It's insanity. It's insanity. End rant. All right. This was a good one. So if you guys remember the pizza delivery startup, what they wanted to do is they wanted to have a pizza delivery robot that was going to sit in the back of the van, and as a person ordered their pizza, the van would drive to the location, and while they're driving to the location, the robot in the back is literally making the pizza fresh, so it comes out of the oven and right into the person's house as soon as it's out of the oven. The best, most instant thing. Well, after spending some $375 million, they determined this won't work. Why? Because driving the car around causes the melted cheese in the oven to splatter all over the place. You end up with pizzas that look like they've been dropped several times because people are driving around. You don't think about this, right? You put a pizza in the oven, try taking that pizza in the oven and open up your pizza oven when it's like nice and toasting, the cheese is just melting, and shake it around a little bit and see what happens to the cheese. It's like gelatinous goo, So anyway, they determined that this won't work. They even went ahead and put together, what's the name of this bus? They ended up getting a London bus, one of those big London double-decker buses. And in the big London double-decker bus, this was the line of the article that some people liked. Garden spent serious cash to buy and convert a double-decker bus from London into a giant pizza truck named Martha for Daisy, but it wouldn't fit on the party premises. Martha is now for sale. So they buy this giant bus to fit with all this robotic equipment to find that it just causes the cheese to blob all over the place and has an inferior product. So what did they do? Well, they took all the money and they laid everybody off, and now they're doing a infrastructure type, delivery logistics or something funny. So if you guys had an interest in getting a pizza cooked on the way to your house, I'm sorry, that technology is no longer a thing. My sincerest gratitudes and apologies to you. All right, on to our feature article of the day. A driver is stranded after the connected rental car can't call home. So gig car share people, don't rent from gig. Gig car car share. So this is a tech reporter from The Guardian. They go out and rent a gig car, which is an Internet of Things car, and they go out to do some traveling north of the city. If you've ever been north of the city, it is fairly remote up there. And so she goes out, the car loses cell phone signal, and simply, nope, not going anywhere, Bubba. And we want to put smart tech in all our cars. Great. Has it ever occurred, maybe we should take some of these idiots working at Silicon Valley companies like, we're going to have the most amazing smart tech cars, and let's drop them in the middle of Mud, Wyoming. You guys know what's in Mud, Wyoming? Nothing. Well, I mean, there is something. There is a combination gas station, convenience store, and post office. One building in the middle of Mud, Wyoming, surrounded by 150 miles of nothing in every other direction. A cell phone won't work. Let's drop some of these idiots who have these ideas to smart connect all of our cars into there and see how well their idea goes. Give me a gas guzzler any day of the week, because at least I know, keep an eye on the gas tank, fill up in Mud, Wyoming, and we're off and going, okay? Let me tell you something. That's what you want to do. You want to go to Mud? Try checking out Atlantic City. No, not Atlantic City on the coast. Atlantic City, Wyoming. The sign says population 7, but it's actually population 1, and there's nothing for 50 miles anywhere else around it. I mean, really, maybe we need to take these people and put them in the middle of nowhere for a while so that they can maybe deconnect from all this technology to get a little bit of insight as to what is in the world without tech all around us. Maybe it'd do a little bit better. Now, they did say that if they actually read the website, it says that you can get an RFID card to lock and unlock the car in areas of poor cell signal, although it's not completely compatible yet. So anyway, they had to go and send a tow truck out to tow the smart car back, not because the car was faulty, but because the software couldn't phone home with a cell connection, and so it simply wouldn't work. Are we not seeing a fundamental problem with this smart technology, people? Give me my dumb car any day of the year. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below.